What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Getting Technical, joined by Raleigh and Sam. What's going on, fellas?
It's good.
How much? What's happening?
Chilling. Divisional round was, I don't know, I guess it was a little bit of a disappointment just because of the expectations we had for some of the games and what we thought that they were going to be. And, I mean, I guess that's playoff football for you. But, I mean, obviously I'm disappointed with the Giants. It was pretty poor showing. And then I guess, you know, there was an upset. A lot of people had the Bills favored. And I think now, I mean, we can have that real conversation with Burrow and Josh Allen and Mahomes because that's like arguable. I mean, like, I think hands down now the top three. And, yeah, and then I guess we can talk about how I was right about the Cowboys and Dak.
Did you read the comments? I was going back into all the comments because we were getting like kind of like once they won that first week, there were people who were commenting like they just showed up out of nowhere. They were like, good take, like sarcastic, calling the clown emoji was coming out. And I went back in there and I responded to like 25 of them right after they lost.
Did anyone else say anything?
Oh, I got into one kid was like, he was really salty and he was like, I'm not even a Cowboys fan. He was just trying to like roast the podcast. And I was like, you're the one in the comments of a podcast that gets no views or anything. And he just stopped answering. But then the next day, some random ass kid who I guess hates the Cowboys, he was responding to everyone's comments. He was like, hold this L, like you guys suck, shit like that. It was hilarious, but
yeah, no, they suck. Those two picks that Dak threw were ridiculous.
they were really, really, really bad.
Yeah, they were. The first one was worse. I mean, the second one he just didn't see Jimmy Ward jump the route, but that first one was bad.
One was like, come on, come on, Dak. Regular, and then bro, his girl just broke up with him too.
No.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Wow,
I like
a rough one.
Yeah.
He's doing worse than Tom Brady. Actually, no. Tom Brady lost a shit ton of money.
fuck with
Tom Brady's new
Dak,
girl
though.
is pretty tough.
Wait, he has a new girl?
Yeah, he does.
She's
Yeah,
like 27.
Like confirmed new girl?
Saw him in public.
yeah, I saw something like that.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, I really had no doubt in my mind that the 49ers weren't going to win.
Yeah.
yeah. No, it was kind of locked that they were gonna win.
That last play was ridiculous. The fucking
Yeah, yeah, like the Zeke snapping the ball and
he got fucking jacked up. You saw
I know.
that?
I don't know what was going on.
He got pancaked.
I thought for sure Moore and McCarthy were gonna get canned immediately after the
You
game.
guys remember
That's
that?
embarrassing.
Do you remember that play? It was years ago. It was a few years ago.
The
it was
Patriot Colt one.
It was the Patriots Colt.
Oh, when they all
And every play I feel like that's ever been designed or drawn up that has no one playing the offensive line but one player, like, has it ever worked? What the fuck? I understand, like, you got to go like 80 yards, but like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen?
then throws a slant and get jacked up.
Bro, like, forget Zeke getting blown up. Like, I don't know who caught the ball. He got shredded.
It was Turpin, the fucking the
bro.
punt return, and he had a shit game like the entire time. He was doing fair catches at the wrong time, letting the ball go over his head, thinking it was gonna go in the end zone. I think he had a fumble too.
Yeah,
it's
no. Yeah, he had like a return one time. He brought it back to like the 27. He was like fucking all hyped up. Bro, like, I don't know. I mean, that game was fucking boring. And the kicker got his kick blocked, the first kick, which was pretty
that was
Brett
hysterical.
Maher
hilarious.
thing was crazy.
Somebody made a shit ton of money on that betting that he was gonna miss his first kick.
He
Somebody
came
made
through
a shit
after
ton of
that, though.
money.
He hit the
Yeah,
other
no,
two.
he
They were
played really
like
well
chip
afterwards.
shots, but he did hit them.
I feel bad the most for Tony Pollard though. He had a hell of a season. Then I'm not sure totally, but I think somebody said that he broke his fibula.
Yeah, it looked like it broke.
So and
It got
he was
rolled
going
up
into
under,
he was going into a contract year. He had a great season. I think he had like 1,500 scrimmage yards, and for that to happen to him, and especially with the way Zeke looks awful.
Yeah.
Like he just doesn't look.
He's not good.
I think he's averaging like this year 2.6 yards a carry.
Nice. With that offensive line.
Yeah,
He
and I
just-
get that his attempts are down, but
He
that
had
shouldn't
like
mean
12
his average is up.
touchdowns, but
That was it. Tony
Oh,
Pollard
goal
would
line.
do
Tony,
all the
yeah.
work, and then they were trying to build this Zeke narrative, so they would put Zeke in. Like, I remember because I had Tony Pollard in fantasy, so I was watching, and it was like I remember one game. I don't know exactly which one it was, but he had this amazing like juke, and then he had a huge like he came out of the backfield like a fucking bullet. and he got to like the 1 yard line, and then they just took him out and they put Zeke in, and obviously he walked it in for like it was like a 1 yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
happened
and
all
I
year.
went on Twitter and everyone was like, I feel so bad for Tony Pollard. Like he does all the work.
Yep.
But
I guess we can talk about we can get the Giants Eagles talk over with pretty quick.
I mean, not really to talk about. I think it happened exactly how everybody else other than Giants fans thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, and I mean, deep down, we all kind of thought. We just were hopeful, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's good to be hopeful, 'cause especially if you end up being right.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
could
it's like a
talk
win-win
lot of
because
shit
like
if you're right.
I'm gonna root for my team regardless, and then if I'm wrong, it's like no shit, I was wrong. I'm playing the fucking Eagles. So it's
they're
like,
crazy, bro.
Yeah.
They got so much talent
bro,
on that team.
to me, like I was like watching the game. I watched it here. You guys weren't here, but
I know.
bro, they were like to me, it was like playing someone in Madden that was like is so good and like they just do the cheese shit all the time. Like they just know how to get yards every play, and you just like you don't play Madden enough, so you don't know how to stop it. That's what the Eagles against the Giants looked like. It was just the fucking RPOs the entire game, bubble screens, quick slants, and then they had Jalen Hurts is good, but like he didn't do anything spectacular to win that game. He didn't. He made the one throw to Devontae in the first drive.
I mean, Devontae Smith, right?
Yep. And then he had, Goddard was wide open on the crossing route, the deep crossing route. But other than that, bro, he was throwing bubble screens all game, quick slants, and fucking handing it off running.
He had a nice first deep throw to A.J. Brown early in the game, too.
Yeah,
But I agree. There wasn't really much special. I think Giants fans in total were kind of hoping that his shoulder was still going to be kind of bummed and everything going into it. And plus, they were going to be cold coming off of the bye week and everything. But, I mean, they just played the game perfectly. And even running the football, I mean, Miles Sanders had like 90-something rushing yards.
Bro, they averaged, I think, 6.5 yards a carry. Kenneth Gainwell averaged 9.5 yards a carry after that last run.
Yeah, I think he broke over 100 yards after that run.
And Boston Scott is a fucking Giants killer.
Yeah.
It's like Chipper Jones versus the Mets.
So weird, man. And then Goddard had a touchdown, too.
Yep.
There was this one guy who had he had a bet in, he had a parlay in for all 4 tight ends to score the first touchdown of the game. He had Kelsey who hit. Then after that, he had the Dalton Schultz, Hayden Hurst, but of course the Dawson Knox one didn't hit.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That out.
Well, the Dawson Knox one hit before the
Goddard.
Like the
'Cause the
Dawson
game
Knox
was
one
before.
didn't hit, I should say.
Oh, yeah.
So he was 2 for 4, and he had those 2 left.
Yeah, but somebody else had another one where it was Kelsey to score first, Jamar Chase to score first, Goddard and Dalton Schultz.
And they hit.
Yeah, and they all hit.
Wow. The one dude, James Diarmando, was betting punt on every Giants drive, and he made like $400 like that.
Wow.
Donnie was saying it.
That's crazy.
Bro, like after like the second drive, he just kept betting punt on the Giants' result for their
I
next
think
drive.
he's a Giants fan too.
Yeah, no, he was.
Yeah.
And he just did like 4 or 5 in a row and just kept all the money he won, he put it right back in and would just do it again. And then Blaze, the one time we were like, Blaze is like, fuck it, I'm gonna throw it on the Giants touchdown,
scored the
and they
touchdown.
scored, but he won. He put touchdown.
Oh, I thought he did the
no,
punt
no,
bet.
he was like, nah, this drive they're
okay.
gonna score a touchdown, and they won.
That's awesome.
So it was kind of funny. But yeah, no, that game was disaster, start to finish. I thought the Giants were going to come out with a little more heart and like a little more like fight on defense, where I was like, hey, like at least throw some blitz packages, try to get some corner blitzes, something off the edge. Bro, they were playing 10 yards off the receivers, just allowing them just quick screens, quick slants all game. And then I don't think they touched Jalen Hurts one time.
Yeah, no.
I think they touched him one time when he kind of rolled into a first down.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah, but it was like the whole game. It was like the Giants had this great season, but realistically, like they don't have that much talent on their team. They
Especially on
overachieved.
offense.
And it's like if you look at the Eagles, I'd say them and probably the 49ers have probably the most complete rosters in all of football. And it was like that's really what it was. Like the talent wasn't even close. Like the Eagles have one of the best offensive lines. They have a fantastic run game. They have an MVP candidate in Jalen Hurts.
Their pass rush is top 5.
Yeah, A.J. Brown's elite. Devonta Smith's elite. Dallas Goedert's a top 5 tight end.
Yeah, they have a
The
top
talent,
5 cornerback duo too.
Yeah, it's like the talent's just not even remotely close, and it's like you can criticize the Giants like they didn't really come prepared, but it's like realistically like they were not going to beat the Eagles.
I just thought I mean, I'm just saying, like, give the ball to Saquon a little more, like, in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? You're going for it on 4th and 8 on your own 45 on the first drive after Philly just scored.
Yeah, it's tough to try and just say give it to Saquon when you go down 14-0 within the first 10 minutes of the game.
But I'm saying you don't think you go down 14-0 because you're not giving the ball to Saquon. Like, bro, his first 2 runs, he had like 5, 4, 5, 6 yards, and then you're dropping back, and Daniel Jones is tripping over the fucking center, and then the offensive line is giving him 1 second to throw the ball. It's like I'd rather you give the ball to Saquon, or at least give it to him in the open field. Like, throw it to him in the flats. Give him a toss, something. Like, ride with your guy, Like, the offensive line wasn't holding up for Daniel Jones to even have a second to throw the ball, and he also wasn't taking off like he was in Minnesota. And they didn't seem to be in that much of a spy or a contain. He just, like, there was times on the replay, when they changed the camera angle, there was lanes for him to get 6, 7, 8 yards and slide. And I guess he was, first time playing in that magnitude of a game, I guess, other than the Minnesota game. But I don't know, maybe he was a little frazzled, deer in headlights or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely possible, but like you said, talent-wise, they were just outmatched from the jump, and it really just didn't go well at any point in time in the game. But they have a lot to build off of. They got to go into the offseason and get a brand new wide receiver group, obviously bring back Saquon Barkley if they can. But they definitely took a step in the right direction, especially for Daboll.
Yeah. What other game we got? We got Chiefs-Jaguars. Decent game. Yeah. But I don't think the Jags really had a real chance to win that game.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence threw that pick at the end, which really killed them.
Yeah.
Even when Mahomes went out, like, the Chiefs scored anyway.
Yeah, they had that 92-yard drive with Chad Henne. I mean, that's just unbelievable that they just have somebody step in like that and just have a drive go straight down the field. And that just shows you how much play calling goes into it. I mean, the players can make plays, but if you don't have the right coach in there calling the right plays, you're just not going to be able to do much in the league.
Yeah, Chad Henne did. I mean, he did against Cleveland too. What was that, last year, 2 years ago?
I feel like stuff like that
and got that first down on 4th and 1 on the out to Tyreek Hill.
Oh yes, yeah.
Mahomes, what, did he fuck up his foot?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was his foot. Yeah, but they put like Tyreek in motion, then they gave him that little slip pass to get the first down.
Throw. It's crazy.
Yeah. I saw something on TikTok today actually, and it was because like Andy Reid, he was the Eagles coach for a while, and then they fired him, and he's now on the Chiefs, but. Basically, the whole video is about like how cool it would be if the Eagles and the Chiefs kind of met in the Super Bowl, and how like everything would kind of come together. He had like a lot of success with the Eagles, and they let him go. Then he completely turned around the Chiefs. I think they were like 2-14 the year before he got there, and then they were 11-5 the next year with Andy Reid. Yeah. And it was like shit. There was in the clip, like it was like Shady McCoy saying how he thought like Andy Reid's the best coach of all time, things like that. But it would be a cool storyline to see them meet up in the Super Bowl,
especially after both he and the Eagles were able to get one Super Bowl each.
Yeah. Right in that time span, yeah. And that was the one that started when they were like the passing of his son, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You saw the same. That video was fire.
It was like 2023 Super Bowl storyline, and then it was it was great. I think the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are. I think this is gonna be a good game, and then obviously the Bengals and the Bills was the other one.
That was disappointing as hell for the Bills.
I wasn't surped though.
You could tell right away, like the Bengals just went down and they had no trouble. They just scored immediately. Bills had a 3-and-out. The Bengals did it again, and it was like the Bills defense. I feel like every year in the playoffs, I know like the Bills offense was bad. Stephon Diggs didn't do well. Him and Josh Allen are fighting, but the Bills defense never steps up in the playoffs. And I know Von Miller was out and stuff, but it's like. It was like
Jordan Poyer playing with a torn meniscus.
Yeah.
It was like you just knew that the Bengals were going to score. It was effortless for them, and it's like at some point, like I saw a lot of people talking about, like Josh Allen. It's like he played poorly. Diggs didn't play poorly. He played poorly in the end of the playoffs last year, but they're really on offense. Like they don't have that much talent outside of Diggs. They have no running game. At least they don't commit to it.
Gabe Davis was overrated coming into the year.
He's a good player, overrated. But he's not a wide receiver too.
He had 4 touchdowns in one game, and everyone was like, "Yo, this guy's like the best wide receiver 2 on any team in the NFL." It's like, come on.
And they got Dawson, who's a nice tight end, but he's not elite.
Yeah,
He's
no.
not a game changer.
Yeah, like
And their
just,
running game is just non-existent most
Yeah.
of the time.
It's
Yeah.
Josh Allen, like Devin Singletary. And James Cook. I don't think they're bad, but they don't commit to the run at all.
Yeah, no.
And it's like, it's just Josh Allen trying to make things happen with Diggs, and it's like you saw the frustration from Diggs, but
Yeah.
with his, I think his contract kicks in this year. I think Poyer's apparently not coming back. I think it's already like confirmed. Basically,
Yeah, it
he's
is
not coming
basically
back.
confirmed.
It's gonna be interesting because like they gave Vaughn all that money and then Vaughn got hurt, which sucked for them. Like he's one of their best players, but I don't know. I feel like because they have Josh Allen, like obviously they'll be in that mix, but I don't see them getting any better.
Yeah, there's really no room for them to get better, especially since they're always drafting at the end of the first round.
Unless they hit.
Yeah, I
some
mean you
guys.
got to hit on that, but I mean if you can't, like if you're just getting these subpar play, because you're not getting blue chip talent at the end unless you're getting lucky, or unless the player's hurt and like they fall in the draft for that reason. But other than that, it's tough. It's tough when you're drafting 25th, 6th, 27th, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I took the Bengals. You guys both took one on our picks. You guys both took I was, like, pretty confident with the Bengals. Bro, they're so good, bro. Joe Burrow is so good, bro. He's so fucking calm, and he just makes the right throws. And Jamar, bro, they're so talented with Chase and Higgins and Boyd and Hurst. And Joe Mixon was running the shit out the ball.
He was.
And making plays. And, and even the fourth receiver they had that was even making some catches on fucking like third down.
Oh, number 16, the
White dude, right?
yeah, Tywin or something like that. I forget what his
talking
last
about.
name is,
Irwin.
but
Irwin?
yeah,
I think it's
Irwin,
Irwin.
yeah.
He had a drop. He had one bad drop, but he had a few nice catches where like he kept the
he does
drive
just
alive.
enough, yeah.
And bro, their defense, bro, they were getting after it. You know what I'm saying?
So
Yeah.
Eli Apple on Twitter afterwards.
No, what do you say?
He was just going at
was
them. He
going
was
at
saying
Diggs. He was
Cancun on 3.
Really?
Like, yeah, he
He's
was
like,
going
bro,
at Diggs
like,
hard.
Eli
I
Apple
understand
sucks.
the trolling, but he is a clown.
I think
yeah.
he sucks. He was on the
He
Giants.
does.
Well, Giants fans hated him before. The whole internet hates him, but Giants fans, like since day one, they knew he's been.
People
trash.
started dragging it to the point where they thought that he was like going out of his way to make fun of DeMar Hamlin and that whole situation. And do you see what's going on TikTok talking about DeMar Hamlin? What do you guys think about
So
that?
I saw Josh
you know what I'm
Allen.
hold on, before.
they
Do you know what I'm
haven't
talking
seen his
about?
face, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I saw Josh Allen on a podcast the day after, and this guy was like pretty much same thing. He's like, tell me what's going on with the whole DeMar Hamlin thing. Was he there? Was that not him? It's a conspiracy. He was like, Josh Allen just started laughing. He was like, DeMar was in the locker room with us before the game. He goes, that's just his swag. He always wears like glasses and like a ski mask, stuff like that. He's like, that was DeMar. He's like, you guys are fucking idiots. Like I think he even said the F word. He's like, you guys are fucking idiots if you guys think there was a conspiracy that wasn't DeMar Hamlin.
That's just the state of the internet.
Yeah.
Right now.
the one thing I will say, somebody went on the hospital's website and went to like the death certificate section, and they found DeMar Hamlin's mom's name like written down in that area, because obviously somebody has to sign the certificate of death, like somebody in the family, and her name was like in the section on the website. That could have been just like bad work by the workers at the hospital. 100%
Someone could have hacked the
possible.
system.
Yeah,
like-
Well, somebody could hack the system. Yeah, that didn't come to mind. But I'm just saying, in general, like there's just one thing after
just
another.
been
I don't
photoshopped.
believe it. Yeah, it could have been Photoshop.
Photoshop is crazy.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I think people dragged in. Everybody's looking for something. Like somebody said, they just had somebody come in and like try and get the team like rallied around and get the fans rallied together. Like, oh, DeMar Hamlin's here, we're gonna win.
Right.
All the spirits are gonna be lifted and shit like that. And then they lose, and now all of a sudden everybody's like, nah, that wasn't really him.
Like,
Yeah.
People just drag it
with
on,
like
on
Josh
the
on
internet.
like if that was the case and like the Bills players knew that he had passed away, they wouldn't be laughing about that on a podcast.
No.
Like, it's
yeah,
just like
no shot.
But that's even crazy to think, like you said, like where the internet is at now, where it's like even the world we live in, like it's always just like a thought where it's like, yo, maybe because like everything comes down to like business and money, right? So it's like, yo, if DeMar Hamlin did die, God forbid, say, bro, like that would do damage to the NFL's image,
100%.
and they would probably lose a lot of money or sponsors or deals, whatever, for continuing to play and throwing it under the rug. So it's like they did, if they put together this whole thing to make it seem like he was alive and faked it. I don't know. It's crazy to even think about, but I'm pretty sure that was him.
I just don't
Yeah,
think you could really cover something up for that long.
You think his family would allow that?
No,
I mean,
like,
but
it's-
that's what I'm
unless
saying.
they
That's
get
what
unless
goes
they
into
get
the
paid
money.
off
That's what I'm
and thing
saying.
and
They're
everything like
paid
that.
off.
And then another thing is like somebody said, come back to this video when they announced in July that like DeMar has passed due to complications and stuff like that. That's a bit of a drag. Like if you're able to, if you're willing to go out of your way and make a video and say stuff like that,
like a future bet on like.
No, it's not a future bet. It's just saying like the NFL. The guy was saying that the NFL is going to hide it so well and say that, oh well, of course he's not really dead. He's fine. Like football is going to do this to you. Blah blah blah. Like how you were saying. And then they'll say down the line in a couple months when like everybody's kind of forgotten about it, the Super Bowl's over, we're in the off season, and they say due to complications to the previous injury and his overall health, then he passed away due to it. Like people going out of their way to do shit like that.
I just wonder like why why do people go out of their way to like put that even out there? Like,
content.
Just, like,
they want likes, they want views, like, they want content.
You're putting that into the universe, and it's like you don't have to believe in that stuff, but it's like it's just weird. It's like you're almost like hoping for something like horrible to
people
happen.
just want to be right, and it's like that everywhere. It's like that on TikTok, YouTube, even in real NFL circles, like the whole well, not NFL circles but sports circles, the whole Aaron Judge thing. Like Aaron Judge has signed, Arson Judge has signed with the San Francisco Giants, but then there was no other record other than that from who was it? It wasn't Ken Rosenthal, it was the other one. Who was the reporter that tweeted it out earlier?
John Heyman.
John Heyman, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, and then Ken Rosenthal came out and said, like, that's not true. Everybody just wants to be first. Nobody cares about being right.
Yeah.
That's all anybody cares about is content and being right
just,
and being the first one.
I saw this thing today. Big Cat from Barstool was on The Old Man and the Three with JJ Redick, and Big Cat he was talking about like how like everyone is so serious about sports now, and it's like, you know, like the classic conversation, like what's more entertaining, like college basketball or the NBA. And it's like people just get so, even you'll see in our comment section, like people get so worked up about like our top 5 athletes list, and it's like realistic. It's subjective. It's our opinion, and it's like half the time we form these opinions like in like a day.
Right.
It's like, and it's like how it's supposed to be fun, and now everyone with everything, it's like you got to be the first to report it. It's like everyone is just so like they want to be right. They have these strong opinions, and it's like everyone is just like coming at each other for everything these days. It's just like bizarre. Shout
out to LaShawn McCoy for liking that post.
Yeah, that was dope.
That was pretty cool. Shady McCoy.
There's been a lot of like, because you could see you can filter it now to like verified likes. There's a lot of people, like I saw some Rutgers football player, like there are a lot of smaller, but the Shady McCoy one was dope.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
For sure.
Yeah, that was dope. I guess we could have our picks for the championship weekend.
Yeah.
So what we got? Chiefs Bengals for the back-to-back years and 4th matchup for Mahomes and Burrow. And then we got Philly and the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
So who you got in Bengals Chiefs?
I'm going to go with the Bengals just because Patrick Mahomes has that high ankle sprain now. I saw him walking on it, but if he's actually has a high ankle sprain, no matter what they do, like I just don't think he'll have enough to beat the Bengals.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I think it's just too. Even when he's healthy, Joe Burrow's 3-0 against him. I mean, you can't look away from that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just I think he might just have his number, and it might take a little bit more from Mahomes to get that win. And having a bum ankle is just not gonna do it for him.
Yeah, no, it's tough. I don't know. I think this could be like the game of the year. I hope it's a good game.
Oh, for sure.
I really hope it's a good game because this has the potential to be like the best game of the year. But I'm still gonna go with the Chiefs. That's my Super Bowl pick. I have the Chiefs and the Eagles, so I'm gonna stay with the Chiefs. I think they're gonna fucking do whatever they gotta do and shoot some fucking cortisone, whatever, in his ankle and
he's
get
definitely
him
playing
through it.
I was watching. I saw a clip before they were talking. Some podcast of some ex-NFL guys were talking about it. They were talking about how like the injections and the painkillers, but the guy said even then with like a high ankle sprain like that, it's like you feel like you're dragging around a brick.
Yeah.
If healthy, like if he avoided it, like, you know, I would probably go with the Chiefs. But I don't know. That's a tough like injury.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they win though, and he actually has that, it's like not good.
Yeah, not good. And then 49ers, Philly.
I just think Philly's the most complete team in the entire league, and I love San Francisco. I think they got a hell of an offense, and I think Brock Purdy looks really good. But I just can't. I can't go against the Eagles with the way they've looked all year. Even though their schedule, people have been saying it now ever since like the regular season ended, that their schedule has been so soft.
Yeah, easiest schedule.
Yeah, but I just gotta go with them. They're so complete.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Philly also.
I'm gonna go with Philly. Yeah.
I think either Super Bowl is pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
either
any
either
one
of
of
the four
these.
teams. Yeah, all these matchups would be a really good Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I feel like the two NFC teams are more talented though. At least on
All
defense.
around, yeah. Because like on defense,
The
when you think
defenses
of
are so
Kansas City,
stacked.
you think of I guess Jones, Karlaftis, and other than that, I mean, there's really nobody on that defense that's too notable. You know what I mean?
I just think Mahomes and Kelsey just kind of uplift that and Andy Reid.
Right. Yeah.
You know
No,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
I think it makes up for the lack of talent on the defensive end.
I think it's just tough when you think of like with the Eagles. I mean, AJ Brown has had a Pro Bowl year. Jalen Hurts looks like an MVP. Their offensive line's top 5. Their defensive line's top 5. Best cornerback duo in the league. And Nick Sirianni, as he's obviously not at Andy Reid's level, but he's definitely a very good head coach. And I would say, if it wasn't for Joe Burrow putting up the numbers that he's put up as of late, and especially early in the season when the team was hurt. I mean, the gap between him and Allen, him and Mahomes, there's still a gap, but he's closing it quick. And if he's able to go 4-0 against him, I mean, it's gonna look real close.
Yeah, that would be tough though if Burrow loses back-to-back Super Bowls. What does that do to his legacy?
I mean, I think it depends on how it happens. You know, like if he loses in a shootout, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like people, nobody really dogs Brady for losing the Super Bowl against the Eagles, even though he put up 30-plus points and had 500 yards of offense. They make fun of him because he missed that catch on that Philly special that they ran in the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, nobody really dogs Brady for losing that game. So
Yeah, but it's also at that point he already had how many rings?
5.
3 or 4, right?
Bro.
When
Brady?
they lost to Philly?
When they
Nah.
lost to Philly, he had 4.
Nah,
It was 7 now. That was what? When did they lose that? 2018?
Did he
yeah.
win?
He
beat
already beat Seattle. He didn't beat Atlanta yet. He
Yeah.
beat Atlanta 2
That was
years
before-
after.
Oh, really?
So he had 4 at the time.
Yeah, 4. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Dude, the only athlete that people care about like finals or championship losses is LeBron.
Which is kind of ridiculous.
They just like to hate. It's like, would you rather that person lose in like lose in the first round or the second round than make the
Yeah,
championship?
They would.
It just makes no sense.
They would.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
half the
I
time
disagree.
with someone like LeBron. Like he dragged those teams there. Like last year, that offensive line on the Bengals was awful.
Yeah.
It's not that much better now, but it's like Joe Burrow balled out. That's why they got there, and then they lost to a really good team. Like people just they're just always looking to hate. Like they're just looking for an excuse to be like, yeah, this is why you're not good enough. Like it just makes no sense.
I think it's. I mean, I really think I think people are overlooking the fact that I think Joe Burrow is going to go down as like one of the best quarterbacks of all time. And then I saw this one comp for Josh Allen, and they were like, "Yo, he's Phillip Rivers."
Like I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yo,
I
it's
mean,
like there was like, "Yo, he's had talent around him. He gets to the playoffs every year, and he could never get past Brady or Manning." And that's what it seems to be. He can't get past Mahomes or Burrow.
I'll just say this though to defend Josh Allen because he's been taking a lot of heat this week, and it's like we talked about earlier, like the talent that he has on his offense isn't really close to what Burrow had, what Mahomes had like in the previous years. Obviously, Mahomes has shown this year with just really Kelsey, and I guess Juju, like he can still make it happen. He's the clear number one. He's the clear best quarterback. Arguably, he's going to go down as one of the most talented quarterbacks ever. But like Burrow, his offense has so many more weapons. Like Mixon's a top running back. Jamar Chase is on the same tier as Stephon Diggs. T. Higgins is significantly better than Gabe Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Boyd is probably on the same level as Gabe Davis. Hayden Hurst had a really good year. Like he's got a lot of weapons. I think right now he might have the edge over Josh still. But to say that Josh is like, people are just writing him off now. Like he chokes and he went off last year against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like it's not like and the game before I think they had didn't they have a streak of drives scoring points, like whether it's a touchdown or field goal, like the entire game against the Patriots, like they scored on every single drive.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of ridiculous. And for the comparison to Phillip Rivers, ultimately I see it, but then again, Josh Allen has only been in the league for 5 seasons. Phillip Rivers didn't even start until like 2005. I think he took like the first year and a half he was on the bench, and Drew Brees got hurt, and that's why he stepped in, and then he was able to take over the starting role. But Phillip Rivers wasn't really on that level until, 2007? I mean, '06 was when LT won the MVP, I think.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the offense was revolved around. But it took him like 4 or 5 years to even become relevant in that entire conversation.
Yeah. I saw another quarterback comparison between the two of like who's better. It was Big Ben or Aaron Rodgers. Like who you take, like who's a better all-time quarterback?
How many Super Bowls does Big Ben have?
Two.
Two. I would probably take Rodgers.
Yeah, I would go Rodgers.
Big Ben clears him in like almost every statistical category, and even like the clutch stats. Like they were talking about like fourth quarter comebacks, primetime game, like all those. Like he was like he surpassed him too. I mean, talent wise, yes, Rodgers is more talented, but that was the argument where it's like sometimes football always isn't about talent; it's about getting the job done.
But I think, well, all right, so an argument for Rodgers is this similar to Phillip Rivers. He sat for like the first
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah, he didn't play until 2009. He was drafted in 2005. I think he has more touchdowns thrown than Big Ben. He has less turnovers than Big Ben. I know that for sure. Mm-hmm. He's probably going to end up with more yards. And he only has one less Super Bowl, and he significantly had a worse defense than Big Ben had his entire career.
Huh.
And he's had 3 head coaches now. 3 head coaches, 3 different offensive coordinators. I don't know. I just think talent-wise, Aaron Rodgers is far and away better than Big Ben.
I do too. But I mean, I just think it's just like all these like quarterback comps, where it's like we're kind of seeing the second coming of like all these guys now with all like these young quarterbacks. It's like kind of cool.
Yeah, I think I think they're all definitely like hell of a talent, and they're gonna put up these crazy stats, but in the league that we're in now, I mean, ever since the 2010s, when kind of like the league kind of went in that passing direction with Brady, with Manning, Rodgers, and all of them, I mean, it's really taken a different step over the last 5 years or so. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be able to be the ones to benefit from it, really, the most. I mean,
do you see Josh Allen winning a Super Bowl in his career?
I mean, I could definitely see. I won't say no, but it's going to come down to them building the right team around him. And I see a lot of people talking now about how teams aren't able to win championships when their quarterback is taking up 20% of their cap, which is true. I mean, you have 53 people on an entire roster. You need to have people under the salary cap. You need to have talent everywhere. You can't pay quarterbacks this ridiculous amount of money and expect to still win.
That's why a lot of teams with the quarterback that's still under the rookie contract do so well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you got Purdy right now, Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Mahomes with Burrow still on his rookie contract. Yeah. So it's 3 out of the 4.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Daniel Jones. And they weren't even talented, but I'm saying just think about all the guys that were still in the playoffs because they were able to pay certain guys.
Herbert.
Mm-hmm. Herbert.
Rookie contract.
Who else was in the playoffs?
I think that was it.
Because then you had Brady.
Dak.
Kirk.
Yeah. So, I mean,
but that's that separation. It's the Cowboys and the Vikings, they're good teams, but I don't think anyone really seriously thought they were a title contender.
I mean, the Vikings, I think I definitely consider them to be in that area in the top 5. I thought they definitely should have made it past the Giants, and it was a close game until the end. But I also think that these teams, there have been quarterbacks who have won. Obviously, Tom Brady. I mean, Matt Stafford just won last year, and he was getting paid a decent amount of money. He wasn't getting paid top 5 money, but he was on a rookie deal either.
That roster was ridiculous, though.
Right, I agree. No, I know.
It was crazy. I mean, bro, they had arguably, I'd say, they probably had.
They had the highest paid defensive lineman, the highest paid cornerback.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Jalen Ramsey is arguably the best corner. Well, he was at that point in time. Aaron Donald is the best D line. They had Von Miller at the time.
Yeah,
they
was playing the best edge rusher in football at that point in time, and then Cooper Kupp was the number 1 wide receiver. Yeah. So it was and then you put Matt Stafford on that with Odell up until he got
He
hurt.
scored a touchdown still.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
bro, they were fucking loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You want to do the basketball thing? We'll
I want to do the guess the player first.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Mm.
But I wanna
But
do
what
a
was the other
football
thing
one
that you
first.
mentioned before that you wanted to tell
It's
us?
about basketball. I think we should
okay.
just finish the football first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
what
for
else,
sure.
What else we got?
I don't know. He said he wanted to show us something or tell us
for
about
football?
For basketball. I want to do the guess the player for football right now.
something. Oh, all right. You got one
okay.
now?
I got one, yeah.
So are me and Sam competing against each other?
No, I think we're like working
We're
together
working
to
together.
figure out the answer.
Okay. And
All
we
right.
have how many?
20.
20.
Yeah.
You have the player. All right.
I
You
have
want
the
to
player.
go back and forth, or you just want to rip
You
questions?
go back and
So,
forth.
tw-
All
yeah,
right,
so
so you-
20
yeah, you go
questions
first.
to guess this NFL player.
Is he currently in the NFL?
Yes.
Is he in the AFC?
No.
Okay, I'm not going to waste a question. Is he an offensive player?
Yes.
Was he an MVP candidate this year?
No.
Is he in the NFC South?
No.
Is he a wide receiver?
No.
NFC West?
No.
Okay, so we got North or East?
All right, so is he in the North?
No.
Okay,
You guys
NFC
guess
East.
every single
So
one.
NFC East, he wasn't He wasn't an MVP candidate. He's not a wide receiver.
Is he? I asked if he's an offensive player.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's an offensive player.
And he's not a wide receiver, and he's not an MVP candidate.
Is he a skilled position player?
No.
Okay, so he's on the offensive line. This is all you, buddy.
He's on the offense. Well, all right, let's narrow it down to a team. Is he on the Giants?
No.
Eagles.
Yes.
Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. There you go. That was pretty good. How many did you count? How many we had?
I
think
can't-
we
felt like it was around-
16.
No.
No,
It was
much
like
less. It
11
was
or
like
12.
10.
It
Yeah, I was gonna say
12.
10.
Yeah, I'll like do when I'm editing it. I'll fucking do it. But I figured he
probably-
was like, everyone kind of knows who he is.
He's probably
like-
the only guy I know.
Yeah,
only offensive
yeah,
lineman I
yeah.
can name.
Him, Lane
Lane
Johnson.
Those are the only two.
Nah, I wouldn't have picked Lane Johnson. I figured I'd do. I feel like that was like he was obscure enough because he's a lineman, but like well known enough.
Yeah.
So it was like perfect
Especially with
for
the
like the
podcast
first
and
time
everything
doing
now.
it. You know, like
Well, honestly, if I would have asked the first question, is he an offensive lineman, and you said yes, I would have said Jason Kelsey.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you weren't gonna ask the first question.
Yeah.
I was waiting because once you said like, is it a wide receiver? I was like, oh shit, is he gonna start guessing? Is he a running back? Like, the skill position was the best question.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's cool. I feel like we could do more of those. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, he was mentioned before. Like that's kind of like that Pirtle game that we used to play in the
Yeah.
summer.
Well, also, we remember you guys would just sit like we had that one podcast that went for like 3 hours, or you
Just
guys
think
were
of a
just sitting
random
guessing
player.
random players.
Like,
Like
you would just think of
we
a
were basically
player,
just
Oh
doing that.
and then we would it would like if you kept getting yes, you could keep asking questions, but then the next guy,
Yeah.
you'd be
Yeah,
like,
it
"Oh,
would
that
build
was
off
pretty
of it.
fun."
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Should we
right.
do one more?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That shit is kind of fun. I gotta think of a player though. Or do one of you want to pick the player?
I don't really care.
All right, I got the player.
We're sticking with the NFL?
Yeah.
Mm.
Wait.
I think we should stick with current day too. Current players.
Current day NFL player. Okay. Okay, I got it.
Okay. You got the first question, Sam.
All right. Is he an offensive player?
Yes.
Is he in the AFC?
Yes.
Is he a quarterback?
No.
Is he a skill position player?
Yes.
Okay.
Is he a wide receiver?
Yes.
He's in the NFC, right?
No. He said. No, he
AFC.
said he's in the
Oh,
AFC.
I asked that question. I completely forgot.
Unbelievable.
Is he in the AFC North?
Nope.
AFC South?
AFC East?
Nope.
All right. We know he's in the AFC.
So he's an
West.
AFC West wide
So
receiver.
we got 4 teams.
You're at 9 questions.
We got to narrow down the team, I think.
Yeah, do you want to narrow it?
I think
you
we
want to
got
just go
to.
that? I feel like that's so cheap, you know what I mean? Like you just go, all right, is he on the Raiders?
Yes.
Is it Hunter Renfro?
No.
Is it Devontae Adams?
No.
Oh my God, it's Matt Collins.
Yeah.
I knew it was Matt Collins. Zach always talks about Matt Collins. He always does. Yo.
He's tough.
The second I guessed Renfro and it wasn't him, I clicked in my head. I was like, it's fucking Matt Collins.
Like
I was actually gonna
Collins.
say because I wasn't gonna narrow down teams. I was gonna say, does he wear a jersey below the number 20? That was what
You know that?
Well, I mean, the first name was Devontae Adams. That's why I guessed him after. And Renfro is 13,
17, yeah.
and I mean, you still would have had like Keenan Allen is under that number.
Yeah. Mike Williams
Juju
is
Smith-Schuster.
81.
Yeah, I was just gonna go based off of that.
I was gonna guess before if we weren't gonna pick a team. I was just gonna guess Renfro. So I was like, I had the right team. You want to pick one? Should we just each do one?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Sam's gonna think of someone we've never.
Yeah, I don't
heard
think
of.
so.
Think of a current day player.
No,
It has to
yeah,
be
it's
current.
definitely gonna be a current day
Still
player.
gonna be someone I've never heard of.
Yeah, it's gonna be someone. I'm gonna pick somebody wild, man.
Oh my God. Yeah, Sam really do know all those dudes. No one knows about.
Nah, I'll make it. Nah, he was too noticeable. He's too notable. All right, I got one.
All right.
All right, let's go.
No,
Matt Milano.
it's one.
Is he a defensive player?
Yes.
I don't know why I thought you were gonna pick him.
So he's a defensive player.
AFC.
Yeah.
Okay. AFC East?
Yeah.
Okay.
C.J. Mosley.
No.
Jets.
No.
Pats.
No.
Dolphins.
Way to skip
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, right. He's just rattling them
I
off.
don't know any defensive players on the Dolphins, so I'm fucked.
All right,
now.
so he's on the Bills.
No, he said he's on the Dolphins.
You said Dolphins?
I mean, I didn't say Dolphins, but you asked.
He
for,
asked
yeah,
Dolphins, and
yeah.
you said yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought he went
No, he said
Jets, Bills, Patriots.
No, I didn't say
No,
Bills.
he didn't
Oh,
say
okay.
Bills.
Oh, okay. That's
Dolphins
Alright.
defensive
So you guys were on
players?
8. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, I
Dolphins
don't know
defensive
about
players.
Dolphins defensive-
Xavier Howard.
No.
Byron Jones.
No.
That's all I know.
Why would you pick a Dolphins defensive player? It's supposed to be gettable.
That's
Is he
what
on
I'm.
the D line?
Yeah.
Fucking know anyone on the Dolphins defensive
All
line?
right. So you guys lost. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Fucking
It was
try.
Jalen Phillips.
Oh yeah. Who the fuck is that?
Did he have a scoop and score this year?
I don't know if he had a scooper score.
Jalen
He did.
Phillips, you pick. I pick Kelsey. He picks Mac Collins. You pick Jalen Phillips.
Big Mac Hollins.
We talk about Mac Collins all the time.
Every week. I don't think there's been a week we haven't spoken
He
about
always.
Matt Collins.
Whenever we're in that argument too, where we're talking about guys like he's always talking about Matt Collins as the tall receiver.
He is pretty tall.
Yeah.
Should we do an NBA one?
Yeah, sure.
This shit is kind of funny. I'm gonna pick. I'll pick a player.
There's this one.
Sam the type to pick like fucking Jetty Osman or something like this. A random ass player. Current day.
I definitely know more basketball players than football.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
By name.
I feel like I at this point I feel like I watch more football, but I still know more basketball players. Pick a player on this team. Okay,
All right, you got it?
I got one.
All right. Eastern Conference.
Yes.
Atlantic Division.
1 second. I always forget the divisions. Sorry. No, not the Atlantic Division.
Central.
Nope.
So he's in the Southwest.
Southeast.
Southeast, sorry. The Heat.
Nope.
Orlando.
Nope.
Charlotte.
Yep.
Gordon Hayward.
No.
Terry Rozier.
No.
Miles Bridges.
Nope. Why would I pick Miles Bridges?
I don't know. You picked him in that fucking draft.
That's true. You did.
That's a lot different.
Is Cody Zeller still there?
I think so, but it's not him.
Plumlee.
No. Why don't you like narrow it down? Like, is he a forward? Is he?
I don't know. I mean, there's only 12 people to choose from.
You're just gonna guess their whole
Yeah. How many are we at right
I
now?
don't know. Not enough. You're not gonna get to 20. You're gonna get it before then. I'll count it like
Kelly Oubre.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
There's one guy left.
That was like too easy. That
Do
one.
the 5. Do the scores. Let's see. I want to see who could guess them. So this is
What was it?
I got you. Yeah. So this is for you guys to guess who in the 2010s who in the NBA has the most points scored. So who are the top 5?
Oh, I mean LeBron,
He's 2. He's not 1 though.
KD,
KD's 4.
and this is the 20. So from 2010 to 2019.
Yeah.
Steph Curry.
No.
James
shocked
Harden.
that he wasn't it. James Harden is 1.
Yeah. So LeBron, KD, James Harden. So that's
So James Harden's 1.
1, 2,
LeBron
4.
is 2.
Damian Lillard.
Kevin Durant is 4. No, Damian Lillard's not. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 7. These two are kind of like tricky. That's the only reason why I
Okay.
like brought this up.
Since 2010.
Kyrie.
Nope.
And they're still in the league right now?
They're still in the league.
Paul George.
No.
Wow. Russell Westbrook.
He's number 3.
Wow.
So now you guys just need the 5th person.
He scored more points than KD.
Yeah. Well, because KD missed some time.
Yeah, and Russell Westbrook's played every fucking game ever.
And he's still like, he'd be averaging like 30. KD's also like that type of player. Like, as much as he can score 35 a night, like if he doesn't have to, like he's not gonna.
Yeah.
So you guys just need the 5th person.
The 5th person?
So you got Harden 1, LeBron 2, Westbrook 3, Durant 4, and then this person 5.
And it's not Dame. It's not Kyrie.
No.
Kawhi.
No.
And it's not Steph?
Nah,
Nah,
Steph
he
is
always says
6.
not Steph.
Steph is 6.
Yeah. This guy's got him by about 700 points.
Jesus.
And he's a well-known guy.
Still in the league.
Still good?
Yes, he's still good.
Since 2010.
Jimmy Butler.
No.
Don't give it to us. We got to get it.
You want to narrow it down? Guard.
No.
No.
Nope. We got to get it. It's bad that we can't get it.
Honestly,
Is it Chris Paul?
No. Chris Paul's actually not even on this graphic.
It's been a top 5 scorer for the last 13 years. And we can't fucking think of it.
Slept on.
And he's still good.
Still good. He's average. I'll give you one hint.
Hold on, I
He's
just need
averaging 27 points a game this season, and 26 or 27. I checked yesterday actually.
Is it Giannis?
No.
I just need to look at a list of the teams, and it'll pop up.
It's not Bradley Beal.
No.
Is it Cat?
No.
Hold on.
The more I think, the more I look at this graphic, like it's very surprising.
Hold on. I want to get it.
DeMar?
It's DeMar.
Fuck! I knew it.
Isn't that crazy? It goes Harden, LeBron, Westbrook, Durant, DeRozan, Curry, Lillard, Aldridge, Melo, and then Blake Griffin.
Wow.
Wow, the Blake Griffin one was surprising.
Bro, I saw DeMar that high. Like, I know
where's Dame?
Dame is 6. No, 7. He's 7.
Right behind Curry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 200 points behind Curry.
I'm surprised Jimmy Butler's not around there. I'm surprised Giannis isn't
Well,
around there.
honestly,
doesn't play that much.
This graphic looks a little old, so it probably isn't. I don't know. Well, 2010s. It was probably made in 2020 or something. But,
Right.
Yeah, James Harden at 1 did surprise me, but then again, he always plays.
Yeah, he always plays.
He
He
averaged
on
35
averaged
points
30,
a game one year.
yeah.
3 or 4 year stretch. Where
Yeah.
It was like
But the
35 a
DeRozan
game.
one surprised me because I actually checked his. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. I checked his points per game. I saw a thing people were talking about. Like they were talking about the Knicks, whether like Randall and Brunson will make the All-Star team, and they were talking about a few guys who like they could see like maybe Trey. He's having a bet like pretty bad. He's shooting 31% from 3 and like 42 from the field. Yeah. And the Hawks are kind of underperforming, but. They were talking about it. One of the guys they brought up was DeMar, and I was like, "What is he even doing this year?" And I looked it up. He's averaging like 27 a game right now.
Yeah. He's like casually averaged like 24 plus for the last 8 years.
Just a bucket, bro.
Yeah, for
and he
sure.
doesn't even shoot threes really. Like he's just a mid-range killer.
That's why I always grab him in fantasy, because especially in our fantasy leagues, we do field goals made, and most of the time he's taking mid-range jumpers, so he's gonna have to, like, he shoots a lot of free throws too, but he just like he doesn't have to score 10. He doesn't shoot like 10 threes a game. Usually, most of the time, it's just gonna be a quick fucking mid-range bucket that he's gonna get multiple points on.
Too, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys better watch out in fantasy, bro. My team is hot.
Dude, I forgot to set my lineup the other night. Last week on Sunday night, I lost to Jerron. I left Chris Paul on my bench because he came back from injury and he dropped like 67 points. I would have won.
That's the worst part about fantasy basketball, because like with football, it's like they play once a week, so it's like when the guy's coming back. With basketball, it's
everybody's
a Tuesday night. Like sometimes I'm not looking.
I just
and
set my
not even
lineup
that.
Monday and I say
But
it's not
with
even
the injuries,
that.
like,
Yo, the injuries
AD
are
came
so
back
bad,
yesterday,
man.
And I caught it actually, but he was still listed as out. But I read the description and I was like, when is he coming back? And it was like, he's supposed to return today, but ESPN still had him as out.
Yeah.
So another thing is, like, we had this discussion a couple episodes back. The amount of injuries that happen in the NBA compared to the amount of injuries that happen in any other sport, and the amount of rest days and maintenance days, it's kind of ridiculous.
You heard about Brandon Ingram's injury?
No.
He's on my fantasy team. He's been out for
the whole
weeks.
year. You know what his injury is?
Concussion, no?
No.
He did have a concussion.
It's a bruise on his toe. It's a toe contusion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that.
That
So
shit probably really does hurt, though.
I'm sure it does, but they
probably
were
really
saying
hurts.
like, yo, like turf toe is one thing, but they was like, yo, this dude has a bruise on his toe and he's missed more than half the season.
How is it taking that long to recover? He's got the best, like, they have all those machines that like help your body recover quickly. I feel like things like that.
this is what I'm saying when I brought up the NHL. I mean, dudes take pucks to the throat. They get concussions. Seriously, players have taken pucks.
Pucks to the throat. What was the dude who had a stroke and now he's playing like
Stroke.
That's
got
what I'm
right
saying.
Up, slapped it in the goal.
I'm serious though. Like, you guys think I'm kidding?
This
All
was
this
like,
shit
that's
happens.
just not even safe. Like, go to the doctor.
Guy had a stroke mid-game, got
Take some
back
time
in the third
off.
period.
See your family.
Like,
But not all right. So
He
not,
gets it in the throat. He can't breathe. He's like,
Not
I gotta play through this. He's
Be
not-
with your
like a
kids,
not even
brother.
to that. Not even to
It's
that
not that
extent though.
serious.
It's not even
He's
to
not even making enough to
Oh
be
my
doing
That's
that.
the thing too. The NBA guys, like, they get paid what
to not play.
5 times
You saw the Jimmy
amount of
Butler
hockey
thing.
players?
This kid drove
I was
4,500
gonna bring
miles
that
to
up.
go see him, and he doesn't even fucking play because he wants rest.
How the fuck are you driving 4,500 miles to
'Cause
see
he's
Jimmy Butler?
Because he's 12 years old and he's his favorite
Nah,
player. He's
nah.
probably from Chicago.
Nah,
Wanted
but
to go to
hold up.
Miami to watch him play.
It gets deeper than that. I saw something online on Twitter. The kid had the same sign with like 8,000 miles to see Curry. So this kid is going to stadiums with these signs. Like, I flew this far to see my favorite player, but he did it with
That's
Curry.
on you, kid.
Did it with
Fucking
Jimmy
read
Butler.
the Adam Schefter fucking
But it worked
pregame
out.
report.
But my point is that
Nah,
like
it was like 10 minutes. He warmed up, I think.
he was
No,
warming
sat
up.
out
The
on
kids,
my fantasy team.
it's just ridiculous to the point that these players aren't playing these games. I mean,
It is crazy. It is really crazy.
they're averaging, like, these players are averaging, and you brought up the fact, like, oh well, there's so much pressure on all their joints and jumping up and down. Like, there's a lot of there's just a lot of compression and impact. But the shoes that they wear, the amount of rehab that they go through, and even the courts that are made nowadays help them out so much. And the fact that they're not even playing as much as the players in the 2000s and 90s did. And it's just to the
But I'm
point
just
where it's
saying,
getting
like,
ridiculous.
It's
Is
just
all I'm
so
saying.
hard to say that when, like, you're not the one doing the 82 games, flying from West Coast time to East Coast.
But my point is,
time.
hockey players are doing it, and they're still not taking
But they're ice
maintenance
skating.
days. What do you mean? They have to take minute long. Do you know how hard it is to ice skate?
Do you?
Yes, I understand how hard it is to ice skate. I have to.
How often do you ice skate?
No, my point is that I've ice skated before, and it's fucking
10
hard
years
as
ago.
shit. Dude, you go and watch the puck ups. You see how bad that you see
Yeah,
how
they're
horrible they
horrible.
are at skating.
What they did,
And they've skated their whole lives, and that people are fucking gassed. These guys are skating 27 miles an hour.
Wait, how many games are in the NHL season?
82. They play 82 games.
So this is something I know. Bill Simmons came up with an actual good. I don't know how many. I think it was 72 games, maybe, or 75. But he came up with something that it fit the schedule. It's like, honestly, bro, like, there's just too many NBA games, and it's like at some point, I know they want the TV money and shit like that, but it's like at some point they're just gonna have to lessen the season. Same with baseball, I
Yeah,
think.
Steve Kerr called
it
for it.
just-
Steve Kerr said,
it
"I'm
just
still
makes no
advocating
sense.
for a 72-game."
And another
season.
thing is, even in these games, I watched this kid. He looked up the numbers. An average NBA game has more stoppages than any other sport.
Yeah,
The
it
amount of
makes sense.
stoppages, the TV timeouts, regular timeouts, out of bounds plays, free throws. There was this one kid who said he went to a just like a regular. I think it was like a Brooklyn Net like Sixer game. He said that there was a whistle on almost every play. He said he couldn't remember a time where there was back and forth action for more than 3 plays in a row, more than 3 possessions.
Well, that's
in a
something
row.
that I think that the NBA did it. I think it was the start of last season. They were kind of letting guys play through it, but like halfway through the season, they like went back on it, and it's like these dudes. Like I understand, like it is an art, like drawing fouls. Like Steph Curry. I mean, Steph is good at it, but I
Trey
mean
and
James Harden, Trey Young, like they're great at what they do in that aspect of the game. But it's just for a fan like who's watching the game, whether it's on TV, you're at the stadium, it's like. Bro, it's just so boring.
It's
like,
not.
just
It's
play
not a good
through it.
product. I mean, you even say it also. Like you love basketball. You don't watch. You probably watch 3% of the games every year.
It's like the guy goes like
Watch the
this.
playoffs.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
like the guy goes like this and they're like foul. It's like, yo, like these are grown men. Like let them play. Like when they were growing up playing AAU, playing high school, even at the park, bro. It's like you don't call these bullshit fouls.
It's like it's
not how
also,
basketball's
like,
supposed
who
to be
you
played.
Because like certain guys get fouls that other
Exactly.
guys don't. It's like
Have you seen the technical fouls? I saw Quentin Grimes was closing out on. I think it was Trey the other night, or maybe it was DeJounte, and it was like, bro, he literally went up. Trey Young, his legs went out. Like he landed, like he kicked his legs out. Quentin Grimes just landed. He hit his foot. Flagrant foul. It's like, and then he gets 3 shots, and then they get the ball, and Trey scored another. He scored a bucket after it, so it was a 5-point play because he kicked his legs out when he shot the ball, and he fell on Quentin Grimes' feet. Like I understand player safety. What happened to Kawhi in the playoffs a few years ago, but it's like, bro, like it's just getting like so boring. The end of an NBA game is
it's
like
more than a few years ago now. It's almost 7 years.
yeah, that is crazy. Actually, I remember exactly. Wow.
It was what the 2017.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it was 2017.
Maybe
'cause then
18?
he sat out. No,
Maybe
he-
eight. Was it?
no,
it was
he-
a KD's first year, I think. Right?
no,
Because Zaza, it was Zaza.
no, because
I thought it was
then
before
he sat.
KD.
No, it was the 2017 year because then it was like Zaza had the
was
play, and then he
Zaza.
sat out the entire year after that with the Spurs, and then he got traded to Toronto,
And they won.
and then they won.
Wait, but didn't KD and then win 2?
Mhm.
And they lost.
They
to
won
the Bulls.
17.
They lost. They won.
Oh,
they lost
won.
19. They won 18 and they won 17 because they lost
they won
16.
Oh, so then it was the
18.
2016
was
playoffs.
No, I think it was the first. I think it was the first year with KD because everyone was like kind of rooting against the Warriors, and I remember the Spurs were up big in that game, and then Kawhi got hurt because I don't think
that's
Zaza
how it
was. I think they brought Zaza in at center because they couldn't afford anyone else when they got KD.
Mhm.
I think who was the center? It was Bogut before that, right?
Yeah,
2016. Yeah.
So I think that was KD's first
Bogut,
year.
Maurice Spates.
yeah.
Mo Spates was tough on that team. He
Yeah,
was good.
But all right, so back to the whole thing. I mean, I agree that I think NBA is probably the worst sports product out of the 4 major sports. They put out the worst product out of all of them. Outside of the fact that that games in the MLB take close to 3 hours, outside of that, it's a much more attractive game to watch.
No shot.
Yes, I disagree.
No shot.
I think it's just all
Not
subjective.
for the average person. Like if you took a girl, if you know, and you want to take a new girl on a date, and you had to take her to a sports game, you would take her to a baseball game other than a basketball game.
100%.
Just depends.
I'm saying the girl has no background in sports, none.
I'm taking it to a baseball game.
All right, but
She'll go to
there's
sleep.
so many factors to this that go into it. It's like, what time of the year is it?
All right, well,
Who's my team?
well, regardless of time of year, it's good weather. It's the middle of June, and
well, the
it's
Knicks
just-
aren't playing, so they're out of the picture.
I'm just
in
saying
June.
for each option, it's either the middle of June for the MLB, or you're going to an October game for the you going. I guess
I
that's
actually
opening
think
night.
basketball
Whatever.
and baseball will probably be the top 2. Because with baseball, you go to a Mets game, you can walk around the stadium and like you
There's
don't
so
even have
many-
to watch the game. Really, it's just like the atmosphere of being
I
at the
think
ballpark.
football is the best.
I feel like football though, like I'm like with baseball and basketball, since there's so many games, I'm down to like just kind of like chill and like I don't have to be locked in. But if it's the football, like if it's the Giants and it's like week 9 and it's a huge game, they only play once a week, 16 times a year, 17 times a year. It's like probably gonna be a little more locked in.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Hockey, it's cold as shit in there.
Outside of bringing a girl to the game, like I'm not even trying to bring up that idea. My point is just for an average sports fan to watch sports. The NBA does not put out a good product. There's constant stoppages. There's constant foul calls. And when there's not foul calls, people just running up and down the court chucking up threes. It's not a good product to watch, no matter how you cut it.
You don't think a fucking a 1-0 baseball game with 2 hits for 3 hours? You think that's a good product?
That more often than not, it's not a game like that, especially nowadays with the way players have been hitting the ball. Hits have been up, home runs have been up over the last couple of years. Outside of seeing a good NBA game, because now NBA games
have been
going
down. Like batting like 270 now is like the new 300.
Yeah, that is true.
Guys like average like 240 is like 250 is like a decent year now.
I'll say
the
one
pitching has got so much better. I think.
Nah, I mean I disagree. I think
guys don't bat, bro. Like batting leaders used to be like 330. The batting leader this year was what, like 314, 315?
No, I think McNeil batted like 326. I think someone in the AL batted 333.
No, AL was
Luis,
315. Because
Luis Arias had like 327 or whatever.
Yeah, he went down to like 315.
Yeah, it's not the same. I mean, the batting title
it's not
was
the
guys
same,
who
but
batted
still, what about
350 back in the day.
especially with the amount of home runs and like players like Ohtani, players like Trout, players like Judge. They bring such a draw. It's worth going to watch games.
You get to see him 3 times a game. Like Harden, I get to see Harden have the ball in his hands 100 times in 48 minutes. Judge, I might get to see him 3 times, and he might walk fucking 2 out of the 3 times. I don't even get to see him swing a bat. And I go there, I drive 4,500 miles to watch Aaron Judge hit a home run, and they fucking pitch around him all game.
Or he goes over 4. I went to 2 Mets
That's
games
the
this
only
year.
thing. Like, at least Harden, like, he's going to fucking do something cool. Someone's going to get dunked on.
If he plays.
That's true. That's really the only thing with the NBA right now. It's like it's just a chance. Like you can go to a game and the guy that you paid a few $100 to see isn't playing. You know, there's no guarantee that a guy like Giannis is going to play every game now. Guys like AD, LeBron, like you just don't know. But I'll say one thing. I went to 2 baseball games this year. I unfortunately had to see the Mets play the Padres twice, and I think Yu Darvish pitched both games. The Mets combined for like maybe 3 hits in the 2 games that I went to. It was fucking horrible. And one of them was the playoff game where they got eliminated. Yeah. And it was just like I went to a funeral. Like it was so it sucked. It was like I spent hundreds of dollars for these games.
You didn't go to the Subway Series game?
That was 2 years ago.
Oh, I went this past year too.
The
9/11 one was dope.
That was a great game. And there was a lot of runs scored, but it's like I feel like you said how like the averages are way down. It's like as much as dudes are hitting for like power still, like it's more of a pitcher's game now, and that is fun as well. But it's like when your team's on the other side of that, it's just a miserable.
Weren't people
experience.
Just complaining about juice balls like 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, but think about it. Even like back in the day, like fucking, I mean, they were using steroids, but it's like Bonds and them. They were hitting like 60
like
home runs a year.
I mean, they're cheating.
Pujols, Miguel
yeah,
Cabrera.
but it was.
Pujols,
I would rather
Miguel
watch
Cabrera.
that. I would rather watch guys cheating, hitting 60 home runs. I mean, I know Judge just did that, but outside of that, and then Stanton had a few years ago. It's like 54 home runs is like an amazing power season for hitters.
It was always an amazing season. What do you mean? 50 home
like,
runs is always a milestone.
Hitting isn't the same right now. It's not the same.
Did you guys? I saw this one concept. I don't know if you guys saw it. So this guy said to make baseball more exciting, he said, "Why don't we treat it like, kind of like basketball and football, where you can like sub guys in throughout the lineup?" So he was like, instead of having a batting order, everyone has, everyone gets 3 at bats, and you can give them whenever you want.
That would be actually pretty interesting.
So he said, because he goes, why at the end of the game, he goes, I'm down 3-2, and
you got the 9-hitter
and I got the 9-hitter up, and Judge is batting 4, and we don't even get to see him hit. He goes, I'll fucking let Judge go up there. I'll save all Judge's at bats for the 9th inning or something like that, and he'll get to hit 3 times in a row. He goes, obviously, it's like fucking crazy to think about, but he goes, imagine I save, a Judge at bat and, I know Mets, like more like Alonso and these, you know what I'm saying? And you save them for like the 8th or ninth inning, and then you can get to pick and choose who you want to hit, strategically in certain spots rather than going through a batting order and everyone has to hit 3 times.
It would be interesting to see.
It's kind of cool. Like, it would make it kind of more interesting and make the manager have to, like
baseball, I love baseball, but I just don't find myself watching it as much. And even the Mets, the Mets had one of the best seasons of their entire, history. And I felt like I follow the games online and stuff. Like, I'll get score updates, but I just don't really find myself, sitting down to watch a game anymore because sometimes, I don't know, I guess baseball is just feels a little bit more boring these days.
Yeah, I feel like that's changed. I feel like it's been the opposite for me, especially when the Mets getting players like Lindor, Marte, Scherzer. I mean, you're getting to watch all these great players play for your home team. I mean, I feel like I've watched more games in the past 2 or 3 years than I had since 2015. From 2016 to 2020, I've watched more baseball.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I went to 2 games this year, but even the one game I went to, fucking DeGrom pitched. The Mets scored in the first inning, and that was it. There was I think each team had 2 or 3 hits, and that was it for the whole game, 3 hours.
I think it's because there's just so many games, right? Like, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but it's 162 games is just so much. Like, during the playoffs, I love playoff baseball. So entertaining, even when there's no scoring. Like, I went to the Mets wild card game a few years ago when Syndergaard pitched against Bumgarner, and there was the Mets had but it was still an amazing game. Like, it was a pitcher's duel, but the atmosphere was crazy. Like, everyone was standing the entire time. We're waving the towels. We're going. Yeah. But 162 games, it's we just got things to do, and it's you got to sit down for 3 or 4 hours. That's my biggest thing. If there were less baseball games and they just meant more, I feel like I'd be more intrigued to watch. Same with the NBA. 82 is obviously half, but with football, it's that's why it's everyone is tuning in to watch their team play on Sunday because they play once a week. That's why it's 17 weeks of the year, and it's the Knicks are on right now, and it's we're not watching the game.
They're also playing the Celtics. They're gonna fucking lose.
But it's I'll just catch the next game, and it's I've found myself watching more Knicks games this year. Because they do have some fun players, but I don't know. There's just so many games. It's that's why NFL outside of football just being incredibly entertaining. There's just it's once a week everyone's we get together, you get good food, you sit down, you relax, have a beer, and you just watch football. It's just it's a tradition. There's nothing with basketball. It's if the Knicks are on Friday, it's maybe twice a year I'll go out to the bar and watch the game. But it's football. It's
So what about playoffs wise? What do you think is the least attractive sport to watch in the playoffs?
Out of the 3, baseball.
Honestly, it might be basketball.
That's what I'm saying.
Just because
especially because the first round of the
first round is you don't really need to watch.
The first round of the fucking MLB playoffs.
Oh, much better.
10 times
anyone
better.
Can win. That's the
There's
biggest
so much
downfall to the NBA.
There's no parity in the NBA.
There's not that much. There is, but it's at it's literally when there's 4 teams left.
That's what I'm saying. So until you get to the conference finals,
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Maybe there is more parity, and it's more of a like this past year. Who lost? The Dodgers lost. Who else?
Braves lost.
Braves lost. Yeah.
Mets lost in the
Mets
wild
lost,
card.
Padres lost.
Yeah.
The Yankees
all these
lost.
100-win teams that just went down.
Okay. But I'm saying yes, there's upsets, but what's more what's more entertaining? At the end of the day, are we talking what is more unpredictable or what's more entertaining?
I mean,
basketball is more entertaining than baseball. I mean, you can be a baseball fan and not enjoy basketball.
I mean, bro, think of how many blowouts there were in the NBA Finals alone. Every other game was a blowout.
That Suns Mavs game 40. That's the thing. It's a lot of I brought up earlier what Big Cat was saying about how people want to argue about is college basketball better or is college football is the NBA or college football and the NFL. It's the best. I don't watch college basketball during the regular season, but March Madness because it's if you lose, you're done. And there's all these teams, there's these Cinderella runs. It's it's so entertaining. It's I don't know who any of these kids are, but I'm glued to the TV. Every night you want to watch because it's the number 1 seed is losing to the to the 8 seed and in the round of 16. Like it's entertaining. It's like you get to root for the underdog. With the NBA, it's like because it's a best of 7, like maybe the 8 seed can get a game, maybe.
Yeah,
But
no,
it's like-
I don't love. I mean, bro, I think
it's
football. I think football clears all of them. You know,
Yeah.
like football's the best, bro.
But it's a single elimination also. It's like
I'd rather watch NHL
wonder-
playoffs over the NBA playoffs, and also I think for the NBA, in addition to shortening the regular season, I think they should go back to the first round being only 5 games.
I agree. I was gonna say, what if they just made the entire playoffs best of 5? I know it's less games, but it's like
I
there's
think
just more on the line.
I get
conference finals.
conference finals and
maybe
NBA
first
finals got to
round-
be 7.
First round best of 3, second round best of 5,
Yeah.
and conference finals and NBA best
Should
of
be
7.
Best
Yeah.
of 7. That's probably
It's
the best
just
way
like,
for them to
there's
go about
just
it.
no parity when it's Giannis and the Bucks going up against I don't know who the 8
Trey Young and the Hawks.
Like the Hawks, I mean,
I mean, the
it's like they're
Hawks
just
that
not
one year,
gonna
they
beat the
some
Bucks. Like
teams.
maybe they can win
They
a
beat
game
the
or two,
Knicks.
but it's like they're not gonna
And then
beat
the
them in a
fucking
best of 7
Sixers.
series.
They
Yeah,
beat
but
the
that was because
Sixers,
Ben
too.
Simmons fell apart.
I
Right.
mean, hey, they still beat them, and that was a fucking upset.
The Hawks are maybe not the best example, but you know what I mean. Like the Knicks, if the Knicks were playing the Bucks, best of 7, they're not winning. But if it's a best of 3, like they could hang with them, and you never know. Maybe they get lucky, they hit a few shots. Like there's a chance. There's no chance when it's a best of 7 if the team is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what was crazy? Also last night, there was a Bucks Nuggets game on last night. Not every single starter for the Nuggets sat out. That's kind of embarrassing for the NBA. And good thing it wasn't fucking nationally televised. But how do you go through the schedule and make all these NBA primetime games? Like you got Knicks Celtics on TNT. All right, that's a good game. I'm sure the entire league would much rather watch Giannis versus Jokic. Like how does the NBA let that kind of stuff happen?
Knicks are only down by 2 at half. So
Do you think it's? I think it's like I don't know how much time we have left on the camera, but I think it's also just like them being like foreign also.
It's a different game overseas? You mean like they grew
No.
up playing in a different style?
No, just like the NBA like just does like they like that's why like Giannis and Jokic, like I don't think they'll be like the faces. I think like Tatum will surpass them. Like they just like I don't know.
I can't see Luka not being the face of the league.
I don't think.
Oh wait, before if the camera's getting low,
I don't think Luka will ever be the face.
Nah, I
might
think he
be.
will.
I don't. I mean, and he may be like the first, but like it's just something about like the foreign players that they just don't like. They don't give them like the same praise or same.
That's Ja. Like Ja's on every
yeah,
highlight
you know
reel.
What I'm saying? Like Ja, Steph.
But Ja's the only one
LeBron.
doing shit that Ja does.
Bro, but I'm saying like yeah, obviously Jokic isn't gonna do what Ja does, but what Jokic does to his extent, I feel like is just as fucking cool as what Ja does.
yeah.
To what Ja does,
Well,
like
he's
Jokic
better.
catching it like this and like throwing a no look pass like that. Like that's what Jokic does. Like Jokic isn't gonna split a double team and dunk on someone.
Yeah, but I could tell you I mean, I could show you countless of highlights of Giannis only having to take 2 steps since he crossed half court to go and get a dunk. I could show you
that's kind of
countless
cool,
highlights.
though.
That's what I'm saying. But like they do advertise that. They do show that a lot. And he's a foreign-born player. They show plenty of highlights of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do, but
I see Luka highlights all the time.
Yeah, but bro, not as much as you would have seen of LeBron, Harden, Steph Curry, Ja Morant, fucking even like a Zion Williamson. Like they'll fucking pump him out all over the place. Like it's just
Hey, yo.
I think that
him out?
I think that Ja was like the most posted person on like SportsCenter last year or something like that.
yeah. I'm just saying like it's just been like over time. Like they just haven't given the foreign players like that they're like flowers yet. Like to the extent that they deserve. I feel.
I mean, but there hasn't been that much of an influx of foreign-born players that were that great up until now. I mean, obviously you had your Hakeems. Yeah, I mean even like Manu Ginobili to a certain extent, but you never had Dirk. But you never had anybody putting up highlight reel plays. Dirk would have a great game, but is Dirk putting up a highlight other than a buzzer beater on a fadeaway shot from the elbow? Not really. Or just a crazy high score game. You don't really have anybody dunking on anybody like that.
Yeah.
Before we end this, I have a would you rather, and I also have just a general question. So I was talking to this kid Nick. He's Joe B's friend, and big basketball fan. And he gave us these tiers today, and he's basically making the argument that he doesn't think that Tatum is like a superstar yet. And I disagree, but this was his list of superstars: Giannis, Embiid, Durant, LeBron, Luka, Jokic, Curry, Kawhi. And then he had almost there Ja, Tatum, Booker, Trey, Mitchell, Zion, Shea, or Shy. He confirmed it's Shy on his Instagram story yesterday. Maybe like Brandon Ingram he said. Personally, I think Trey should be like down a level. But I feel like Tatum at this point has to be a superstar.
He has Trey at a superstar?
No, he has him like almost there.
Can you go through the superstar list again?
Giannis, Embiid, Durant, LeBron, Luka, Jokic, Curry, Kawhi.
Yeah, Tatum should be in there.
I would flip him and Kawhi.
Well, I mean, it's hard to judge.
The only
Kawhi
argument
this
for that
year.
is like the best ability is availability, and Kawhi's not really playing. But
Tatum should
Well,
be
I mean,
in
other
there.
than the fact that the
and-
Celtics are the number 1 seed.
I just think
Tatum
Tatum
should be in there.
Yeah, he should.
Like, he's an MVP candidate.
And
this year.
arguably Mitchell.
Yeah, he's deserved it.
I would
this year.
consider him a superstar right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, I wouldn't consider him a superstar yet. I think he needs to do it over multiple seasons.
I mean, he can basically get a bucket whenever he wants. Like he's basically at
He's
that
averaged 25 for the last probably every year of his career.
Right, but he's clearly having his best year of his career now. And
Yes,
we
but I
don't
feel
know.
like it's
We
just
don't know
kind
if
of
it's
like,
we don't know if it's just a fluke season or if he's
It's
going to
not a
continue to.
fluke. He's that good.
I don't think it is a fluke, but I just think that having one season scoring 30 points doesn't automatically make you
What did he average last year?
a superstar.
28?
He's a bucket, bro. Like,
he is a bucket.
crazy.
He's phenomenal. But I do agree that he's in that second tier.
Yeah. So I wanted to do
Because how much has Trey Young been averaging for his
But
career?
the thing is, Trey, like, he averages like 29 or whatever, but it's like he's shooting 42% from the field. Like, that's the same dudes on Twitter who are worshiping Trey Young are like, RJ Barrett sucks because he shoots 44% from the field. It's like, your boy Trey's doing the worse.
yeah, but
It's
Trey's
also-
pulling from 30.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
Trey's
also
much
a
better,
lot
don't get me wrong, but it's like, if you're arguing, like, just straight up stats like that, because it's like, when you watch the game, like, Trey does so much just because people are afraid that he's going to pull from 30.
But that's what I'm saying, and it's also like Trey is like shooting off the dribble, shooting off screens. He's shooting deep threes. He's shooting end of the shot clock shots a lot. It's like RJ Barrett shooting 42%, like
And he's
not doing
catching
too much
shoots.
shot creating, and he's shooting
No.
like
But I'm just saying, like, the
shots that are created
examples,
for
like,
him in the corner.
Yeah,
That it's like
catch
you
and
most
shoot.
of these guys who
shoot
are
a
making
higher percent. Obviously, Trey, bro. If you look at like
Go look at their usage
dribble
rating.
percentage, yeah, usage rate is not night and day. But I'm saying even look at dribble. So like I think shooting percentages, say they're at a certain amount with no dribbles, then taking one dribble, I think it drops like 15%. And then you take 2 dribbles, it drops almost 30%. And then anything over 3 dribbles into a shot is almost minus like 35-40%. So think about the shots Trey's taking. Majority are off the dribble. Trey Young doesn't shoot many catch and shoot threes at all.
No, none, really.
And then most of RJ shots.
Well, I was just using him as an example.
But I'm saying, I think Trey Young gets a lot of hate for that and like a lot of like backlash for like shooting low percentages. But it's like, bro, look at what the guy does. And mind you, he's fucking 5'11", 160, soaking wet. It's like, what is that gay?
No, it's
No,
not.
no,
You know
no,
Sam.
no,
You know
I
Sam.
say that.
Bro, the thing is with Trey is like he's incredibly talented offensively, but it's like outside of that one little run, he really hasn't translated to really any winning. They're underperforming this year. They got DeJounte. Everyone was like they're like a top 60. Like they're like maybe I don't know what they are, but they're flirting with 500. And it's like last year he was horrible in the playoffs and they got their asses kicked.
Yeah.
He had that great run, and it's like I like Trey, but he's one of the worst defenders in the league. He does so much like because he draws so much attention, kind of like a Steph, especially in like the pick and roll aspect, and like you have to come out and he creates so much openings for other players, which is why I think he's averaging 9.9 assists this year, which is the highest of his career. But I just don't think like I don't know. I feel like he can't be the first option on a championship team.
No, I agree. I don't think he can.
But I wanted to do before I wrap this up, I wanted to do a Jason Tatum would you rather.
All right, yeah, bring us home.
So the first one is Kawhi.
Jason Tatum.
Tatum.
I would go Tatum as well. Next one is Booker.
Jason
Tatum.
Tatum.
I would go Tatum as well. Donovan Mitchell.
Tatum.
Okay. And then the last one, out of position, but would you rather have Jason Tatum or Joel Embiid?
Tatum.
Yeah, I guess Tatum. He affects the game more than Joel does.
I would probably go Tatum as well, but
Even though I think
there's
Joel's
only
better.
there's like maybe 4 people in the league I'd take over Tatum.
I think I would take
Age-
Giannis.
Age outside of it?
Just like right currently, like I would take LeBron over him. Well, what he's doing is insane.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
would
I'd
take
take
Jokic,
LeBron.
Giannis.
I wouldn't even take Jokic over Tatum right now.
And Luka probably. Like I would probably put Tatum at 5.
Luka,
He's probably my
Giannis,
5th.
LeBron, KD. KD's averaging 30 right now. I mean, he is hurt, but he was averaging 30.
KD and Steph, 5. Those
Yeah.
are the 5 I would take over, and then I would take
He's
Tatum
right
6.
in there. Like he has to be in that superstar tier right now.
No
I mean,
question.
Jaylen Brown, bro. He's not a superstar, but
He's averaging
he's
27.
damn good, bro. Well, it ended perfect.